Well, listen, I want to say thank you to the Foundation and to the UN, both actually, for this opportunity, this award that we are receiving. I mean, it gets me. Well, also, yes. Look, I also want to acknowledge so many of our friends who are here who came to help us celebrate this award, and they're special. Could you all stand? No, not all of you, but a few of you stand up to show that we have friends in the audience. Okay, good. Yes, good. Thank you. Now, my background is actually in landscape architecture and urban planning, and Laura's is in social science. So we had a kind of vision, a notion when we were in school of wanting to take the technology that we were working with and the sort of science and the systems approach thinking, this was back in the 60s, realize, and apply it somehow in a kind of purposeful way to making environmental planning. At that time, we were beginning to recognize it, environmental assessment, land use planning better, using systematic tools. And pretty much that's been our life over these last 54 years. We started a little company, this Esri company, just as a little consulting company, thinking, not really knowing what it was about, but about 10 years into it, some of the tools that we were working on about digital geography, mapping, computerized mapping, began to be recognized as something important. We, of course, thought it was important earlier, but other people started saying, hey, this is interesting. And so we fell into a pattern of building it as a product. And the thousands of engineers that support us, I really have to give them credit, because they have engineered a kind of first principles basis for digital geography. Well, some of you don't know geography like I do. Some of you do. Geography is the science of our world. So these tools were about abstracting in the computer the science of our world. And the vision was that geography, representing physical and environmental parts of our world, and also social parts of our world, and also economic parts of our world, could actually be brought together and unified so we could see holistically the world. And that was exciting, actually. So it turns out, thank you. It turns out that people began to buy this product, and now it's being used, I mean, it's hard to say this, but in over 600,000 organizations doing just about everything. They're little companies, little agencies, the UN, of course, massively, cities, utilities, census bureaus. I'm throwing a bone to some of my friends here that run statistical agencies, FEMA itself, the Red Cross, so many NGOs around the world, thousands, hundreds of thousands of them. And those people are doing amazing work, actually. They're building a more sustainable future. They're building efficiency into their work. They're solving problems more holistically, bringing it all together. And this is really amazing. And they in themselves are beginning to collaborate. Even leaders here in this room who started the basic fundamentals of the SDGs, thinking about a sustainable world. And I will join some of the other speakers in simply saying, this is a very difficult time. You know, you and I are living in this. It gets real personal real fast when we realize it's late in the day. It's not dark yet, but it's getting close. We're not talking about 100 years or even 50 years. We're talking about a few dozen years. And then it won't work out. I mean, it's as important as that. At the same time, my big hope, and I know the hope of really all of you in this room, is that these forces, all these organizations will begin to come together and build a platform for understanding. Geography, the science, in our case, selfishly thinking about it. Mapping, the kind of language that we all understand quickly. And, well, geocollaboration, that's sort of still missing. And we see it today, we see it this year. Geocollaboration. This is what the UN is really all about, frankly. It's getting people together to not just understand from our science, not just collaborate from our technology, but actually come together to create geocollaboration that addresses our big challenges. So my thoughts to you, ladies and gentlemen, really are you in this room, the UN, of course, the work that you do, and I'm talking here personal, the work that you do, and actually how you do that work. It's some of the most important work that can be done. Just late in the day. And we're going to have to use every bit of our technology, every bit of our science, but also every bit of our sort of political, diplomatic, collaborative thinking, trust-building thinking, if we're going to turn this around. And so my message is to you, all of you actually, please go in at 100%. My colleagues and I play at 100%, and it's a real privilege, actually, to be around a team like that. And I sense that in this room, don't you? This notion. So, look, I want to say again thank you to all of you for this very special honor, and I join Laura. I know that she feels exactly the same way, touched actually. Thank you.